Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, and it's always a pleasure to be joined by Mansur Abdul-Malik, who's coming off the second win of his UFC career versus Nick Klein at UFC Seattle. Mansur, always a pleasure, my man. How are your emotions after such a big victory?
The emotions are high, but they're good. It's a life-changing victory for me, and not in the ways that you would think. Not in like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. It was an amazing performance. There was a little bit of adversity that I had to get through there, and I'm just so grateful and thankful that I got to show that because as you saw in that corner, or as anyone really saw in the corner, whenever anyone really understands the fight game or composure in general, man, after I got hit. I came right back, sat on the stool. My coach was telling me things and he was allowing me to refocus. And my automatic response was, yep, yes, sir,
Mm.
right away. Got out there, went in the second round and finished it. And it was that simple. And it's that simple for any situation that I've gone through in camp. It's that situation with anything really in my life. It's just composure. And I'm very, very, very happy that I got to show that because it was automatic.
You mentioned it, so we'll talk about it first. That spinning elbow that you hit with at the end of the first round. First and foremost, have you ever been hit with a shot like that in terms of another fight, in terms of sparring? What was going through your mind? Because I know that you recovered really well, but still a big shot to be hit with in such a big moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been hit with things like that. I've been hit a lot harder than that.
Mm.
But I think the like the body language that I had after when I got hit, because like my head went back a little bit and then it came back. So it looked in my eyes and from what I felt, it looked a lot worse than it actually was.
Mm.
I didn't fall to my butt. I took a few steps back, regrouped, and got right back into it. But props to Nick Klein. Before I say anything else, props to Nick Klein because he caught me with something that was surprising and he got me clean. Props to him before I say anything else about myself. Now, moving on to what I'll say about myself, man, I was not hurt. It was nothing too significant. It was a clean shot. Props to him. I just had to regather myself and get right back to it.
Knowing you as I do, I always imagine you've watched those 8 to 9 minutes in the cage more than once since your fight. What is your overall assessment of your performance, and have you had time to reflect and maybe change your emotions? Because I know in the immediate aftermath in the cage, you weren't too happy.
Mhm. Man, I'll give you a few things here. So number one, I have watched it many, many, many times over right now, and my emotions have changed absolutely. But they didn't just change from myself. So after that post-fight interview, I was obviously maybe not disappointed, but not satisfied. Not satisfied with my performance. Not satisfied with how well I could have done. When I left the cage, I kind of had the body language of someone that was a little bit dissatisfied. And then there was actually words from my coach, Eric Nicksick. He was like, you won, you finished, you got through a situation, you were able to exhibit something that could be considered championship material, as people like to say.
Mm.
It was automatic. He didn't have to pull it out of me. I didn't have to pull it out of myself. It was automatic. Okay, a little bit of adversity. My face is calm, neutral. I got right back in there and still got the finish. No emotions too high, too low. So I took a look at that, man. I took a look at that and I had to look within myself and really, really appreciate and be thankful for the situation that I got. People are going to talk regardless. Had I gone in there and got a first round 30-second finish, okay, he hasn't been tested yet. Whatever.
Mm.
I went out there and got a decision, a lackadaisical fight, not that much action. Okay. So now we see. I went out there, got hit with something, still finished the fight, and still had an amazing night. People are still going to talk regardless, and I'm grateful for it all because that creates a sense of fanfare. That creates ideas within the public's mind. They can think and they can speculate, and that's a beautiful thing because all that attention is good attention. Now, I don't really think about it that much, but it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful, and from the words of my coach, I really, really got a new perspective on my performance, and I am more grateful than I was in that cage on that night. With that being said, I still can do much better, and I still will do much better. God willing.
I believe the quote on Eric's Instagram was, "This is the type of fight that we needed."
He couldn't have said it better, man. That's the type of fight that we needed, and that's the type of fight that was a perfect timing and place to be shown because I can only get better from something like that.
You mentioned there it being a fantastic night. This was your first time fighting in front of a UFC crowd, and we talked
Mhm.
about that in the lead up to your UFC debut about how it was your UFC debut, but maybe not the same as a full UFC fight, given you didn't have the 20,000 or so fans screaming
Mhm.
either for you or against you. What was the experience like fighting in front of a crowd and fighting in Seattle?
Objectively, that it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. Like the energy. I cannot, and I'm the type of person that thrives off that. So I'm the type of guy where I'll be built up too much by it. I'll be way too excited. Like you'll never catch me being full of anxiety. You'll never catch me being scared or fearful or any of that. I'm the type of guy where it can fuel me too much. I can
Mm.
be way too happy. I can almost lose sight of the game plan because I'm just enjoying things too much in there. So I just have to, I really had to bring myself down a few notches, but man, it was beautiful. On the night, on fight night, it really didn't matter. I didn't see it as an obstacle in the positive or negative. Now the weigh-in day, that was beautiful because I let it go. I was smiling, man, in the back before the curtains were even pulled back for us to actually go weigh in. I was going crazy in the back, man. I'm flexing, I'm putting my hands in the air, I'm visualizing that moment. I'm pre-visualizing every single thing that's gonna happen. And then when I went out there, I was able to take it all in. I was able to let it go a little bit more than usual. But on that night, it didn't matter at all. I think I mentioned it before. I felt pretty bad, man, because there was a lot of fans that were reaching their hands out for fist bumps and hand slaps. So I made an extra effort to kind of get them their appreciation after the fight. But man, it didn't mean too much. I was just very, very focused and very locked in.
There's a lot of hype on your name. When I see Instagram pages or websites saying who should fight who next after big events, I'm
Mhm.
seeing your name linked with a lot of big names in the
Mhm.
185-pound division. But that being said, you're still very young in your career overall, but
Mhm.
especially in your UFC career. Did the fight on Saturday night change your opinion about how fast or slow you want to take your UFC career? What I mean by that is there an element of you still want to rocket up these rankings, or is the part
Mhm.
of you that going, I still need to learn, I still need to get better, and I still need to take
Mhm.
this a little bit slower so that I can
Mhm.
ultimately get where I want to get to?
Mhm. No, it hasn't changed it at all. Not one bit whatsoever. I swear to God, man. Like the dialogue, the internal dialogue that I have within myself is concrete. It cannot be changed. It can't be changed by the opinions of someone else, by the words of anyone else, by any external thing ever. I am on my path, and my path is my path. It cannot be changed by anything of a performance by me or any words by anyone else, man. So I'm still within my right mind, and I still have the exact same thought process when it comes to progressing my career. With that being said, I'm always getting better. I'm not one of these guys that, okay, we're in camp. Time to train, time to get better, time to get in shape. Man, this is a lifelong journey. I am a martial artist. I'm a martial artist, man. And with that, that comes with consistently getting better within all aspects of your life. And then when it comes to the technique, actual martial arts training, experience, gaining that relevant experience. This is for life, man. So I'm always getting better. So with that, I feel like I'm a step ahead of people. I'm a step ahead of most because it's always on. I'm always there. It's not a fight camp for me. This is life. If anything, I might need to pull back sometimes and just rest a little bit and let my mind recover, let my body recover. But the progression of my career is perfect, and I'm very, very, very grateful for the progression of my career. My name being connected with other big names or whatever, fine, bring them all on. I love it.
I feel like every champion or every aspiring champion does one thing better than the rest of the division. In your mind, what do you feel like is the one thing that you feel like you do better than everybody else at 185 pounds?
There's a few things that I feel like I do better than everyone else, but that's coming from my heart.
Hmm,
That's not coming from a sense of arrogance. That's not coming
of
from
course.
a sense of overconfidence. My skills have yet to be shown. In all honesty, being truthful, my skills have yet to be shown. My fights are finished relatively fast. They start the same way. All of them start on the feet. But my skills have yet to be shown, my brother. I have grown up on the mat. I have grown up in the gi. I have grown up in a kimono. The mat is where I live. Wrestling, jujitsu, I've done all of that before any forms of striking. In addition to striking, the array and variety of strikes that I can pose when it comes to things that aren't necessarily skill based, when it comes to a mentality, when it comes to courage, heart, it was a little bit on display that fight. And I think it's a beautiful thing for those things to not be shown all the way right now. So I do want to list off many, 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 many things right now. Things that are real, things that are concrete within me, things that my coach can speak about, things that my teammates can speak about, things that my father can speak about. But I will let those things be shown because it's like a little bit of like suspicion. It adds
Mm.
to it a little bit. Okay, what does he really have? Is he real? Is he real? Or is he just another one of these guys that's just talking? We'll see. And I know what I have within me, and I just cannot wait to show every single bit of it. But there's many things that are still yet to be seen from me.
So with that being said, we will only find out the answers to those questions when you step into the cage next. So my next question is, do you have a date? Do you have a rough timeline? Maybe even an opponent or a location that you would like to make your return in your next fight at?
Absolutely, relatively soon. So first, before anything, this is our month of Ramadan. It's actually starting tonight, I believe. And I want to make sure I'm focused on that first. I want to make sure I'm very, very focused and I prioritize that before anything else. After that, I'm right back in it. And in this month as well, I'm still going to be training. I'm still training 2 times, 3 times a day, regardless of anything else. But I want to prioritize my faith first. And then I want to get back in there. And that can be very, very, very soon. If it wasn't for this month, I could be back in there in a week's time.
I hope you don't mind me asking this, but there's a lot of
Mhm.
debate in the sport about fighters fighting, doing training camps throughout Ramadan. I
Mhm.
know Bilal
Yes.
Muhammad famously did a training camp through Ramadan. I believe
Mhm.
Khabib did at some point.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if you've done one, but how much of a disadvantage or how difficult would that be to have those restrictions as a result of your religious belief whilst also trying to
Mhm.
complete a training camp?
Not at all. Not at
Mm,
all. When I say that I want to prioritize and focus on this, it's more so, yeah, fight week. And fight week is
mm,
very, very, very heavy for some people. There's a lot of cutting weight, there's a lot of media, there's a lot of this, X, Y, Z. And then forget the actions. I just want my mind to be focused. I want my mind to be on a certain topic during this month. When it comes to training, dieting, working out while fasting, all that stuff is normal, man. I do that on a daily basis.
mm.
Sometimes I've trained 3 times a day without my first meal, just having black coffee. So that stuff is just nothing to me. But when it comes to the wavelength that I want to be on, I just want to be very, very focused and prioritize on a certain thing right now, and then everything else will come.
You've changed your bio and your Instagram to a
Uh-huh.
quote, and I quote, and that each person will have only what they endeavor towards. Why did you feel the need to put that on your Instagram? Because I like the quote, but I'm interested to see
Mhm.
why that's something that you're musing on at the moment.
I'm grateful that you recognize that too. So that's very, very close to me. That's a verse within the Quran, and it's very specific to me. Each person will only get what they work for. We can pray for things, we can hope for things, we can visualize things and dream of things, but God does not change the condition of a people until those people start to begin and change the condition of themselves. So action is real. You need to couple the action with the dream, couple the action with the hopes and the prayers. And once that happens, the world is yours, my brother. It's that's special to me. And I just want to make sure that I'm always diligent and I'm always working hard and I'm always coupling an extreme work ethic with those extreme dreams that I have, with the extreme visions that I have. I never want to lose sight of the effort because the effort is very, very, very important to me, regardless of any result. God forbid I die tomorrow. Something could happen tomorrow. I could have a career-ending injury, but I just want my efforts to be so pure and so true that I am better for it as a man, regardless of any result ever. So, with that in mind, with that effort in mind, and with that effort consistent, I'm happy.
I love it. I love it. Last question from me. Thank you so much for your time. Great start of the year for you with a big win. what are your rest of your goals for 2025? Where would you like to be come the end of the year in your career?
For the rest of this year, I want to fight multiple more times. I got my eyes on a few bonuses as well. It's only been one fight since it, but I want more. I want more. I know I'm capable of more, and I will show, and I will get those things, God willing. I want to get much better. I want to improve my skill, and I want to continue to give back, man. I swear, I swear to God, like the amount of positive vibes and you get the hate too, but
Hmm.
the positive vibes, the positive messages that people are sending me, man, is like it's breaking my heart in the best way possible. The support that I have from these fans, the support that I have from the people that I didn't even know were watching me, the young fans, the young martial artists asking me questions in my DMs. I am moved. I am moved because I'm no different from them. I really hope they don't see me as like someone that's like up here. I'm not. I'm no different than any man. I was that kid. I still am a young man, but I was that kid sending messages to fighters, asking them questions on Facebook and asking them questions on Instagram. Okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? Kind of hoping for a response back. I was literally that young kid, that 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid with a dream, and I was just moved by highlight videos and UFC embedded episodes and UFC countdown episodes and interviews from all these different people that were in the position that I wanted to be in. So if people watch this, I just want them to know that I'm no different than you. I'm extremely moved by the things that you've said to me and by the vibes that you've given to me. And I hope that it continues. And I hope that it's reciprocated in a way where I continue to inspire you and sort of give you good vibes while my career progresses, by the way.
I love it, and I think that's the best place for us to end. Mansour, it's always a pleasure to get your time. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the win, and I look forward to seeing you back in action soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.